If you want to grow faster on YouTube with Opus Clip and Agent Opus Motion Designer, this is the stream for you. Today, I'm going to be joined with, once again, Roberto Blake. But what you may not know, Roberto is an incredible graphic artist and artist in general. And I'm so happy to talk to him about this because we talk about the short split strategy. We talked about how, you need good content, and this is going to help us make good content faster. So without much delay, let's start today. Roberto Blake in the house. Roberto, so excited to talk to you about this one. How are you doing, Roberto?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I am good. So if you are just joining us, we are going to be talking about, how you can make your content better with some good motion graphics. And if you don't know, Agent Opus is in full open beta. There is a watermark, but we're going to talk about ways that you can join the community, earn some watermark free credits. But Roberto, are you good to get right into kind of Agent Opus and just kind of talk about, how you would use it and what you're seeing?
Yeah, actually, I came from a background where I've done,
Yeah, let's go for it.
things like I've been a graphic designer for many years. It's actually how I started my early career, and I am an Adobe Suite Master. And I used to have that certification through the Adobe ACE program. So I was Adobe ACE certified once upon a time through CompTIA, right? So super old school. What I would say is back in the day, back in my day, it's like before Creative Cloud, to even have access to this stuff, like I had access through my job, for example. I had access through school, then I had access through work. You'd have to come up with many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to have access to most of these tools. If you wanted to buy the whole Adobe suite back in the day, you had to have like $3,600, $3,600. Individual tools were $800 cold hard cash, and then you'd have to pay upgrade fees. So one, as much as people complain about the subscription model, it was great for a lot of us back then. I say that to say that today, you still would have to come up with a lot of money and spend a lot of time just to learn the basics of animation, whether you're using Adobe Animate or Adobe After Effects. Now that we have like Agent Opus, you don't have to generate everything from scratch, because even back then you'd have to find all those assets and you probably have to purchase some of them or templates from these websites like iStock Photo, or you'd have to have a subscription to like Storyblocks and all this stuff. And then you'd still have to edit the existing template, swap out your logo, make it your own thing and everything like that. The time you take to do all of that, something like Agent Opus can do the overall majority of the work for you very, very quickly. And again, even with other things that are out there in terms of just your general tools, I want you to think about it. We have things like Canva, where you can make the graphics that you want to pull into OpusClip, and for most of you, that's free. We have Adobe Express. Now they have something where you can generate these graphics for free. Back in my day, the access to even making anything at all, let alone animating it, was hundreds of dollars up front before you've ever done anything, if not thousands. And then it would still take you hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of your time.
And I think that's the thing that what I'm excited about. And, one thing you may not know is Agent Opus actually, and this isn't for Roberto, this is for anyone watching, is they actually like partner with Google and like they plug into Gemini and things like that. So, they're really working on trying to speed up the process and making things really accessible. And I think that's something that I enjoy about this, is the accessibility barrier is a lot lower than it used to be. Obviously, there's always going to be a place for artists, but even in recent conversations I've had where I know what I want, but to even get to a point to where it's multiple revisions, it's cut down revision times. I always ask the artist, are you okay if I use AI to mock up what I kind of am looking for? So far, I have had no one say, no, you can't use AI to give me an idea of what you're looking for.
Oh no, people love that now. And again, if I was a graphic designer, again, I wouldn't be anti-AI. And the simple reason is, do you realize how many hours of my life were squandered, Andrew, by clients who didn't know what they wanted? and like, oh, I'll know it when I see it. You realize how many people I had to work for who were pulling I'll know it when I see it. I know I see it. To be able to have them give me a concepts, or me to be able to generate hundreds of concepts for them and have them pick something, and then I actually formally execute it by hand. You see, again, there was even a controversy in gaming recently. I don't want to get super all into it or derailed, but I'm making a point here. It's like AI plus human is the answer, because when you can use AI to make a task, revisions, approvals from your unreasonable clients or unreasonable boss easier, your life gets better, not worse, as a creative and an artist. If I had had people who could have said, hey, I need this thing, but I need it in this file type, because as a designer, you're not screwed. Like a lot of times there still needs to be a human input or something. You generate a logo, for example, you have a logo that was crafted by a human but animated by AI. Can you show us that, Andrew?
Yes, I can. So this one, just a little bit of backstory. I actually wanted to show off something I generated, which is a very common use case. I wanted to make a YouTube subscribe button and ring that bell based on my logo. So while that's loading, this was something that I paid an artist for, and I got, I paid for full rights to use it in any way possible. And it's interesting, when I ordered this, they even included a stipulation that was, it's okay with AI, right? But if you're working with artists, make sure you have all your legal rights done. Like, that's another thing.
Everything should be work for hire, which means you should own the full rights to anything they generate on your behalf for your intellectual property.
Correct. But also make sure you check the contract is another thing I'll say. But this was made, I gave a simple prop, help me visualize the KD logo. So this is my own community logo coming together. The K enters from the left and the D to the right to be there together. Now,
this is the same art direction you'd have to give a human being if you were asking for this to be animated. I'd say that as someone who's had to do motion graphics animation as a paid artist before, and someone who's hired people to do this, this is exactly a clear thing in terms of a very simple piece of art direction.
Yeah, and I will tell you, and what I have talked to the team about, and Connor, who's been on the channel, has been very upfront. Like, this is almost there for me. Obviously, I'd probably ask for transparency around the little play button if I were to be like technical, and they said we could be, they've given feedback on this and they know, and I gave that feedback to Opus. But even to get this far, like, Roberto, if I gave you this and I'm like, could you make this, a higher quality? You have all the vector files. How much easier would your job be, even with this as a reference?
Even with this as a reference, it gives me the speed. It gives me the relative timing. If you say, hey, Roberto, I want this to be the same exact speed to where the animation completes in under 5 seconds, that's a really good, helpful tip for me for the speed. I can direct the tweening. Seeing the spatial interplay of, okay, how far does the D need to come in and stuff like that. Oh, what gloss effect, all these things. Like, this as a guide tells me produce this result. I don't have to imagine what the final result looks like. I just have to get there. So even if I had to do this manually, this is great for me. This is fantastic. Even if I had to manually, because again, if you gave me the SVG file, or you gave me Adobe Illustrator file, I would ask for that rather than a PNG. But even with that, I could work with it. But if you gave me that, like, yeah, could I recreate this with the transparency the way that you want it for the D? Yes, absolutely. Would it be harder or much more challenging to do all of this without the guidance of saying this is exactly the result I want? I'd be sitting there in revision hell with you, just tweaking the damn timing, and then I'd have to wait, like, for every time I have to render a revision for you, it eats up like 30 minutes of my life gone for no reason. And I may not get paid more for that time either. So again, I'm happy that people have this, especially beginners, like people who want to complain about things. If you're an elite, if you have unlimited money, unlimited time, and you want to be artist or filmmaker, have at it. Most people, they just have an idea in their head. They want an easy way to turn their thought into a thing. And not all content has to be art, and not all art has to be content. I'm fine with people being 100% human artists and not using these things. I mean, they're not 100% human artists. They're still using digital tools. But like, I'm fine with people who want to be purist. What I'm not fine is them projecting it onto people that have different circumstances. There are people that, frankly, should you be prohibited from expressing your creativity because you just don't have the time to learn because you have a 9-to-5 job and you got 2 kids? What time do you have to pick up a pencil or to learn animation or to do that? You don't. Should you just not be allowed to express yourself and your ideas and put them onto the marketplace? Should you not be allowed to compete and to profit? Why do your circumstances have to be gate-kept and prohibit you because you find a tool that allows you to do it? Why do you need anyone else's approval or ethics on that and everything like that? So again, I'm so glad that like Agent Opus is here for the people who want to do that. The same way, by the way, not everybody needs to be out here making a 15 or 30-minute video. Why can't you make YouTube shorts? Why can't you do short form content? Why do they think you should get a different award from YouTube for that? For short form is just as valid. Back in my day, back when we were OG YouTubers, all of us made content under 3 minutes because we were all on $500 Asus laptops with $30 Targus chill mats burning our crotch whenever we wanted to render a 3-minute video. It would take us 2 bloody hours.
Yeah, and I think like
melting our motherboard at the same time, by the way.
Right. And I think that's also being like a huge thing with this is while I could learn to do this, and I do actually know how to do what that logo is doing, even if I'm busy and like I'm doing other parts of my business operation, I can't sit there and dedicate that time. Now, we have
you can't
a question.
Justify it.
No. This is not a really stupid question, but it comes from Shark Scraper, who says it's a really stupid question, so I'll caveat that. Is Agent Opus access through my Opus Clip subscription, or is it a separate thing? They're still working out all of that, but right now you can click in the link in the description for Agent Opus, so you can try it. There will be a watermark, as we mentioned at the top of the show. But if you are wondering, how do I use Agent Opus, this is a really great question for, and how do I use the Motion Designer specifically, because Agent Opus does quite a lot. I want to give a quick demo, and Roberto, we can walk through this together here. So once you get to the website, all you'll have to do, and I'll actually zoom in just a little bit more so people can see a little easier, is it says ready to make a video your audience loves. So you can use the entire Agent Opus, which allows you to add in an article, photos, you can add an AI voice, you can help it with a hook, you can do all these different things. But the one we're focusing on today is motion design. You can click here and it'll bring you into the Motion Designer, as you can see here, or you can just type in @ and do Motion Designer and it'll bring you here as well. So Roberto, I wanted to kind of put you on the fly here. What's an idea that maybe you would need for a quick short that could help visualize what we had or have when it comes to like videos you're thinking of? Do you have any ideas that you'd like to see visualized?
I'd like to see a visualization of like the YouTube play button icon and a bunch of money raining from the sky to represent the opportunity that making money on YouTube represents.
Sure. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more. And this is something I want to show is like, if you have a reference point, you can upload an image, right? So I have the YouTube logo.
I was going to say, we even use the YouTube Shorts one instead. But no, this is fine. Like
I can use the YouTube Shorts.
Because again, we're talking about Opus, we're talking about repurposing Shorts. This is perfect.
YouTube, I'll put YouTube Shorts just to give it some extra detail here. YouTube Shorts play button icon and money raining from the sky. Motion Designer is active. So this is actually, gives you an idea of how this works, right? And it in 3 minutes.
Okay, I couldn't conceptualize that in After Effects in 3 bloody minutes, Andrew. I don't have a tool to get this. I don't have a tool to make this work in even, frankly, especially since it's probably going to depict individual pieces of dollars and stuff like that. Even if I used a green screen.
Can I show you? It showed me a preview. I think you're gonna love it.
Geez.
Look at that.
This is already. And it put a 3D bezel on it. Like I can't even get this in After Effects I can't get this in After Effects and Adobe in the fastest I could possibly do it is 2 hours.
Even adding an animation.
Oh my god. I can't even do this in 2 to 3 hours, and it's gonna do it in like 2 to 3 minutes. It's gonna turn hours into minutes. That's ridiculous. That's amazing. Like, Give it up for Opus.
And what I also want to, and like we're seeing people in the chat. Damn, yeah. Go ahead if you haven't. Look, there's a link in the description. They work with they work with a lot of different.
Legit need you to send me what it renders after this.
But this is the fun factor, right? And I think that's something that I also want to mention is that I've had a lot of fun working with artists and designers and using this as a point. Because even in this, and when I saw in some of the previews, I think that what is getting lost is it's not AI that's replacing creatives. It's who's using the AI and how they're using it. I've made it very much a point. If I use AI, it has a specific. Oh my gosh! Sorry, I just saw the preview, Roberto. You're gonna like it. So I'm gonna just tease
human plus AI, like cyborgs will beat humans and androids. Yeah. A cyborg will beat a human and android. A human augmented with machinery will beat a machine or a human.
I want to go ahead and show this off because I think it's pretty good. Look at that.
Oh my lord.
And look, it's smart enough to know to put the money interlapping and
it's got
depth.
It's got depth. It's got foreground, background, middle ground. It's got animation and rotation. Like I cannot, and I'm good at this, Andrew. I can't replicate this in under 3 hours.
Get alone
I
3
cannot
minutes.
because just the work I have to do to take a flat image of the YouTube Shorts logo and convert it to a movable 3D file, even with a good computer. And I'm on M1 and M4 MacBooks, M4 Mac Mini and M1 MacBook Pro Max. It's gonna take a good chunk of time just to render. I can't even render that 3D in under 15 minutes, I don't think, to that quality, because it also is not just doing that. It has gloss and it has reflection. It's like I can't render that in probably less than 30 minutes, even with advanced Adobe software or 3D Studio Max. I mean, do you think you can render that in under 30 minutes? Like, I don't know that
No.
I can.
Not
So
me
just
personally.
that.
There might be some like super special users who could.
You'd need crazy hardware. It's not even
Right.
just that. You just need crazy hardware. You'd need like 2 daisy chained NVIDIA 540 Ti's, 5040 Ti's or something like that, or 5080 Ti's. You need them.
Don't even get us started on the cost of the RAM.
Oh
to
God,
do
no!
this.
Not with the RAM going up to hell, and then like the GPUs going down. Like no. So like you'd waste an hour of your life just getting to the YouTube Shorts logo being 3D and glossy and reflected and beveled. So you'd waste maybe 2 to 3 hours on that between rendering, comping, and saying, "Oh, I'll know it when I see it." You'd waste 2 to 3 hours on that alone. This took
And
2 to 3
Roberto,
minutes.
can I
Then
just
the
interrupt?
interplay of all the money stuff. Oh my God, you'd waste 10 hours to do this.
And also, Roberto, remember, I originally said I wanted the YouTube play button. If we did this as the real human and I changed my mind as quick as you actually wanted me to,
It
I
adds
would have
another 5
rendered
to 10
this.
hours.
Yeah, I would have rendered this with the normal YouTube play button, sent it to you. That's a day. And then you'd be like, actually, can we do the YouTube Shorts logo? And I, as the designer, I'm going to be like, okay. And then everything I did in that previous one, and if this is the one you want, what happened to my time?
5 to 10 hours wasted. And even if I'm paying you by the hour, that's which usually in these cases it's paid by the project with revisions built in, and then
Yeah,
you're just praying the revisions don't come. That's our world that we came from, because you worked in doing creative services as a freelancer, same as me. You just didn't do as much of the motion and the graphics design part of it. You did video editing, but it's the same slog in a way. This would have a revision on something. It takes 5 to 10 hours to get to this result if you're good. God forbid you didn't have the time, you worked a 9-to-5 job, you got kids, it's much worse, right? And that's most of you in the audience, I'm pretty sure. So, this would waste your time if you're a kid with no responsibility. If you are an adult with responsibilities, it's unconscionable to have you then have to do a revision on this. And you would have to, because that's the job, or someone else will do it, and you may or may not get paid depending on the contract. So it literally can take you 10 hours to get to 5 seconds of animation. So for normal people, regular people, working class creators, get access to this level of quality. I know people want to say AI and AI slop and everything like that. One of the reasons that I can actually legitimately defend this as an artist and defend Agent Opus as an artist is there is no amount of time you can get back on your moral high horse. There's no moral high horse that is going to be the equivalent of you wasting 20 hours of your life, especially if you have responsibilities, you have children, you're a caretaker. You really can't make the argument for it. You can't argue against the validity of the fact that 30 hours of your life versus 3 minutes of your life. You cannot justify that. You can't. So I'm sorry. It is what it is. These AI tools are here to stay. They have a valid use case. They are there for the creators to benefit, not for them to be replaced, but what is being replaced is your wasted time. We took 30 hours and compressed it into 3 minutes and got a result that is 80 to 90% of what I could have want, or even better than I could have guessed or directed it to make, even with human revisions. It is not a benefit to an artist, no matter what you pay them, to squander 30 hours of their life in frustration over haranguing them for details, compared to giving a machine that and not wasting a human being's lifespan on it and having it in minutes. It's not just about you getting speed and you saving money. It is about the fact that there's not a reasonable dollar amount that justifies wasting 30 minutes of someone's life in frustration until you get what you want.
Yeah. And like Roberto mentioned, this for me, I would say is probably 80% of what Roberto wanted. I would probably update this in little ways, but even then, I think this is really good. Like, this would let me as a creative be creative faster. I would probably throw in, you said money. I'd throw in maybe some coins in there, really add some, some variety. I would probably also, look up copyright and legality of doing so, but maybe we actually put some of the, real dollars instead of this, fake dollars. But anything that gets me this close is where I, as a creative, can start being creative way faster. And like, this is where I would then go to an actual designer here, and I would use this as here's my starting point. Can you help me with this? And this is what the changes I need, but keep everything else.
If you give it to them and you say, I want this, but I want you to do it, and I want these small tweaks, you're going to save that artist, and they're going to maybe get to, instead of 30 hours, they could maybe get to this in 5.
Roberto deserves those being hundreds.
Like, if you give this as a finished thing, Andrew, to an artist and say, I don't really want it to be any different. I just want these minor changes. I don't want it to be that different. I just want you to render this. If they do that and they give it to you and you say, hey, and I want the source file, you can justify that. And then you can say, the artist can say, okay, I think that'll be, 5 to 6 hours, maybe 10 at the most. That's much better than 30.
Yeah. And I didn't have to go through the process of deciding to change my mind on what logo I wanted them to use, which
Exactly.
again, I want to say, yes, they may have the background assets. It would save them time, but they're still re-rendering something completely from
They're
scratch.
at least having to re-render the logo, and then the because they could swap the position, they could swap object in After Effects for the logos, but it would have to re-render all of the reflections. It would have to re-render that logo. So they have to do the 3D modeling for it, or they could use a template effect if they have a template effect or preset for that. But still, it would still take them a minimum of at least another like hour, 3 hours minimum on doing that, and the rendering and the reflection, depending on the details and the quality of the export. So then that becomes like the problem, even in an advanced tool like After Effects. Again, even with revisions, this kind of thing can take minutes instead of hours on concept, rendering, going back and forth. So again, I think it's a valid tool. I think it has a place in the market. I even think literally just commissioning somebody to, and you say, oh, well, it's just prompting and typing. Andrew, if you don't give good art direction, if you don't have the ability to command language and you don't understand the technicals, because again, I think you have to understand the technicals. You were able to say and communicate, you want it animated this way, you want it coming in, you want it doing this. Again, directing the motion design is a skill set to understand. Do you realize most people, Andrew, have a 7th grade or lower reading color? They did a new study, and I think over 50% of Americans have below a 5th grade reading level, and they determined that almost 66% of Americans have under a 7th grade reading level. That's not necessarily sufficient to give proper guidance to a human or a machine to get high level results. So just reducing and saying someone's just a prompter when they get something good is disingenuous, because what level of communication skills do you think the average person commands? I mean, that's no disrespect to people, but if you can prompt, then you've earned the skill. And yeah, it is a skill and you've earned the right, because you can't pick someone randomly off the street and get as good. Maybe they can get 50% as good, but they won't get as good as somebody who knows how to command the English language.
Right. And there have been some use cases where I, announced a new thing that I gave to my audience. Like, this was an example, and I explained this to Roberto, where I created a thing on my website where I spent time like looking up YouTuber terms and made a YouTube glossary that's free, right? And then I was like, I spent all that time, all that effort actually building that on the website. I was like, I'm so tired. I don't have time to build this. So I was like, I'll try this. And this actually was a really fun thing that people were like, who'd you get to make that? And then when I said it was Agent Opus, they were shocked. Now, this is not a super technical thing to do, but it gives across what I wanted. It's a glossary open that says YouTube glossary. This with my text gave them something more visually interesting than maybe a still image of a book where I put above it YouTube glossary.
I want to do an experiment in real time
Sure.
for people, Andrew. I want to try to recreate your YouTube glossary, but I want to give it the following art direction.
Sure.
Okay. Have a spinning book open and reveal to lay flat on a desk as the pages spin, and have the words YouTube glossary rise up from the book and stand above the book and the desk.
All right. I think I got pretty much everything you asked for there. Just check that I got it pretty close.
Yeah, let's see what it comes up with.
Now, again, if you're wondering how we did this, you're just joining us. You can either @ Motion Designer or hit the Motion Design button. Then you give it a whirl. And what it's going to do, and we keep seeing this, is we're going to get pretty good video in 3 minutes. You know, it's fun because we have it on here. It's 10:38. It just clicked over. So you can actually see in real time that, you know, we're not speeding anything up. This was something that Roberto and I have not talked about before. And it's doing a pretty great job. And from here, what we can do, and we'll talk about this in just a bit, you know, I have some videos on the channel. Roberto has videos on the channel where he's talked about, you know, making money, right? And how to earn an income. So we could take that and look at this, Roberto. Already, it's given us a preview. And this is looking pretty good. Like, this preview already.
Oh, my. Oh, my. But see, also, look at the difference in just how a little bit of detail on the art direction. Like, just looking at the preview, wouldn't you want to use this for your thing, Andrew?
I'm so far, yeah. And again, I made that quickly, right? And it did what it needed to do. But this is the difference of having more time and having someone like Roberto who is, you know, really good at understanding direction. But that, Roberto, how long did it take you to get good at direction, right? Hours upon hours.
It took me, you could argue that it took me my whole career, and having to learn and having to work at an ad agency, working in marketing, working media, and everything like that. Andrew, I'm fairly certain I've done my 10,000 hours of mastery as a creative director by now. I've made over 2,000 YouTube videos between my main channel and then all my spin-off channels, not counting any work that I've done with clients on top of that. I've done reviews publicly for maybe 5,000 YouTube channels publicly. I've coached over 800 creators in my career now. I've worked with thousands upon thousands of creators. I've seen thousands of dashboards. And then I was a graphic designer who did probably more than 10,000 hours in Photoshop by now. I've been using Photoshop since I was 15 years old. I'm 41. I'm pretty sure I've done my 10,000 hours, Andrew. Like,
I believe it.
So the ability to do art direction was earned, but also that's not counting the fact that I have the command of language, because since I was a child, I've been reading the average of literally a book a week since I was 7, and not small books either. I'm talking when I was 7, I was reading like Where the Red Fern Grows. I was reading The Outsiders with S.E. Hinton. I was reading The Hobbit. I was like, you know, I was not reading picture books.
I do think as we go through and we're talking about books, because this is, you know, relevant, like all of that is still skills you can develop, right? And like that's the skills where when you develop them, they can help you not only in motion graphics, but human and like English and communications and reading. It's so valuable to you as a person and as a creative, right? Because Roberto and I had the same idea, but just different ways. Roberto had more time than I did because I also had to get going because life gets in the way.
Yeah.
But with Roberto's help, right? Like when I go, and Roberto, I'm going to just say, I'm going to borrow your thing here to help promote this in the future.
Yeah.
But the fact is, one, I always will disclose when I use AI, which all the platforms require anyway. And two, this is just an example of, you know, this is something me and my friend Roberto got to do live on stream, and you guys are seeing that, right? And then we're going to go and bring this into Opus Clip in a way that, you know, we can then enhance our creative process, right? And again, if you use AI, make sure to mark it on what platform you're using, that it was generated. That is a requirement. But I think it's really goes to show that even us working together here, Roberto, like a lot of stuff we generated today, I would feel confident bringing to a designer and up leveling, or even using it by itself, you know?
Same thing. And then I think that's the other thing. People keep thinking about AI in this weird silo thing where they're not considering that not only is there human activity, in our case, there's human collaborative activity now enhanced by the AI. So 2 humans plus AI got a superior result to, say, one human pressed, 2 humans with more time, 2 humans with more time. Because again, I wouldn't have thought of this for a YouTube glossary. I have a creator dictionary.
But this is why, like, look, we love AI, but sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
And so we're going to generate again.
Yeah.
And then, look, this is also important to note. It is in beta. Mistakes are going to happen. But
where's my...
we still have the prompt, and we can give it a go again.
Yeah.
So, as it's going, but it will say it would have taken 3 minutes. But you know
and
what?
It's likely going to come out differently than even what we were seeing, although what we were seeing was dope. But yeah, maybe we'll like it better. Like,
exactly. And I think when things like that happen, it's also an important thing to say. Like, things like that can happen when you're editing as a human. Roberto, how many times have you had the dreaded, you forgot to save your project,
or
and you get the error?
Didn't put auto save after updating and everything like that? Yeah, like the dread. Anyone who's ever been an Adobe user knows this pain very, very specifically of, oh my God, it didn't save the changes. Oh my God, I don't have that version of it. Oh, recover the file and everything like that. Or bloody hell, when you're, if you don't buy really good SD cards, which is why I spend an inordinate amount of money on good SD cards, I've learned my lesson from cheap SD cards. You realize how, like, you get that once in a lifetime moment, that once in a lifetime interview, once in a lifetime shot, and then the freaking SD card corrupts or doesn't read. You've done that, Andrew, right? Like, you've been there. Yeah. Like,
yeah, because
so even as a human, you can have the same problem, and it's like, and it's actually more common.
Yeah, but if I spent 3 hours of work and an error happened and it was all away,
I'm gonna break my keyboard over my head.
Versus 3 minutes of work, we were chatting while it was working, right? So like that goes to the difference. But one thing while that is rendering again, I want to show this off and make sure that we talk about it. Someone said I clicked the link and I'm trying in real time. Recently did a video about selling iSeries CPUs. Just made a cool clip of a CU dropping gold coins. Shark Scraper during this stream was able to make something that he's confidently going to use like that. Yeah. Like, Roberto, could you think of a time as a graphic designer where you could do something that quickly with like 3D?
Think about it like this. Collaboratively, you can be in a meeting with a client and you can actually do real-time work together collaboratively, know what they want, make revisions together and everything like that. And then a client experience doesn't feel like agony. At that point, it actually feels empowering to be able to sit with a client and they don't mind if something's going to take 3 to 5 minutes. They can sit on a call with you for 15 minutes. They can't sit with you sometimes for 3 hours through the entire process of a render. So this is powerful from a collaborative standpoint in regard to that. It's ideal even. So even remotely, and by the way, remotely, think about it like this. If we were doing this traditionally, Andrew, we couldn't have the ability to have the resources for a live stream call with a client and render in real time. Something would suffer. Either the live stream would suffer or the render would suffer. This is browser based. This takes minimal resources on our part. It takes resources on remote servers, both for us using StreamYard and both for us using Opus right now with Agent Opus or even Opus Clip. We have no degradation in the quality. Imagine that you could sit there during your work during the day, your client meetings, or even during your streaming, that you can in the background have things running in the background because you just took a little bit of time in between breaks here and you rendered some prompts and you have some stuff going on in the background. And so while you're literally live streaming, you could render an asset that you might even want to use on stream that day, same day, in real time. We are so close, and this is just the beginning, and this is beta, and this is the worst anything will ever be. We're going to have a future in 3 years, Andrew. We're going to have animated 3D renders in under a minute that we can use while we're doing a live stream, and then literally swap out an animation or a logo or say something out loud and generate it during the bloody stream. We're going to be able to do that within like 1 to 3 years time.
Yeah. And one thing I want to show is, like, let's go through a real workflow. I love how we were talking about it. This is a real workflow. You know, we created that YouTube Shorts thing within Opus Clip. This is a video I made about how you can make money on YouTube with no AdSense being required. I dropped it into Opus Clip. So if you don't know what Opus Clip is, you can make clips in one click by dropping a YouTube link. One thing I want to note, as Opus always says, using videos you don't own may violate copyright laws by continuing to confirm this is your own original content. For me, this is. So if you're watching along, I see some people are like, but couldn't people? It's like, anyone could technically download a YouTube video right now. You're not allowed to, you're not supposed to, but we both know that people, those are what you're not supposed to do. People do it. So this is my own content. I'm going to ask it to make clips, and this is about how to make money without AdSense on YouTube, right? Now, that's going to take 6 minutes. The other thing we made in Agent Opus, which I can click these 3 dots and export it without a watermark. And don't worry, Roberto, I will send this to you afterwards as you asked. But I can do that. Now, what this is this is just a little beta show, but if I want to download it, I can do it there. You can also download within it if you have Agent Opus. Hit export. It's going to help me save what I need. I'm going to quickly just do this. But, you know, even within that, right? Like, I can now send this to Roberto so quickly, and that is really exciting for me because
It's exciting for me.
well, like, the collaboration process just got easier. And I think that is something that I'm excited for just in general. And this is a completed video asset that I would probably, like I said, either bring it to someone or feel confident using it and marking it, you know, as AI, and then see what my audience thinks. And if your audience is not into AI, that's another thing. I've seen this. Well, my audience doesn't like AI. Then in that case, depends your audience. Every audience is different on YouTube. And if you've never used AI, but out of nowhere you start using it, that could be something you need to consider as a creative too.
But also, they don't like most of your audience doesn't not like AI. They don't like what they think AI represents, and they don't like when they feel tricked. Primary example. A lot of people love something until they find out it's AI. I'm not arguing for not disclosing it. Quite the opposite. But the thing is, if you, let's say, do all the performance on camera, but you do an animation or a background that's AI, and they go, oh, that's a cool animation or background or whatever, then it's like, yeah, it's rendered with AI. It's like, some people might vocally fight you just to fight and everything like that. But again, if they were happy until they knew how it got there, they actually don't hate AI. They hate the idea of it.
Yeah. And I think that that's always, I go back to like knowing the history, right? Like I remember when Photoshop came around, people are like, it's not real
Photoshop
art.
is not art. This is the death of art. This shouldn't be allowed in any art contest. Oh, how dare you use it? Oh, this is going to destroy people's mental health. Oh, this is ruining body image and all the things and everything. Photoshop was demonized my entire adult life. I'm not even kidding. And
Well, we saw similar with film where people are like, you know, if you're using NLE or non-linear editors, things like Premiere, DaVinci,
if you're not cutting it
real
by hand, that's
editing.
not real editing. You're not doing it by hand the old way and everything like that. The cigarette burns, all that stuff. No. And then they argued against digital photography. I was right there, Andrew. I was one of the last people to use the dark room, the wet lab in my community college and everything like that. They argued so much against the preservation of film. Now, now only for us to find out they were arguing for the preservation of us using all those cancer-causing chemicals. Do you realize how many people breathe that stuff in and they got lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer off of breathing the chemicals from the dark room and everything like that? How many people got skin cancer from that? We now realize it was one of the worst, most toxic things ever, and that it was killing people, and people were defending it for the sake of artistic integrity instead of going to a faster and safer alternative because they didn't want to learn a new thing, or they wanted to defend the history of what they built.
Home Rapid Repair agrees with you. I'm no longer a 20-year-old in my darkroom getting cancer from the harsh chemicals.
Yeah, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You guys can go look it up. It was like digital was a literal breath of fresh air, and it saved our lives and everything like that. It's no joke. I hate lazy slop, whether it's AI or human. I hate slop, whether it's AI or human. There's some great stuff out there with AI, and again, a lot of people, they love something until they find out it's AI. Again, the gaming industry is very much like that. People saying here, saying, "Oh well, this studio didn't do AI. This studio is like, actually they did. They just didn't tell you. This other studio was honest. This other studio was less than honest. But guess what? I'm not even mad at them for being dishonest, as bad as that sounds, because look at how y'all reacted. And it's like, and you didn't even know, and you enjoyed the thing until you understood so you don't actually have a problem with the thing itself. You don't have a problem with the result. You have a conscious bias that you're inflicting on something. Because by the way, Andrew, I've seen people tear down and witch hunt real artists that painstakingly did stuff by hand years before AI. And then, and like, here's the thing: they're haranguing everyone about AI. Do you realize how much crap I got just because there were like 12 typos in my 40,000 word book? I get harangued for 12 times, and I wrote it before ChatGPT. Now, literally, with me getting a more seasoned editor, because I hired an editor that was, young, green, only 5 years in her career. I'm now working with a woman who's like 20 years in her editing career to be my editor and proofreader. They're gonna swear up and down that I just ChatGPT'd my book when I painstakingly wrote my book the last 2 years, and the only difference is I hired an editor with 4 times as many years on her belt, and literally 100 times more book edits under her belt, 100 times more, not joking, in that time. And that's the difference is I hired a better, by better I mean more seasoned, more experienced human, and I became a more experienced, better writer over the years. And I'm going to be, there are people who are going to swear up and down that I ChatGPT'd my book now when it's a little cleaner. I get harangued and roasted when I do human work that has imperfections. Then if I even do human work that now looks too good to be true, they're going to assume it's AI.
I mean, I had a video that I
can't win.
I had a video that was 6 years ago before AI was as good as it is today. And someone's like, oh, it's obvious you used AI. And I'm like, where? I'm like, can you tell me where? Because I could have saved a lot of time.
Every time I do an ADHD brain dump on Reddit, I'm accused of using AI. Every single time. And I'm like, AI was probably trained on people like me. Because we're the only people who wrote blogs, you jackasses. Like, it's just what it is what it is.
Well, I think that also...
We're the only people who wrote blogs. So AI is trained on the people who wrote blogs. So it's going to look like us.
And I think that also is part of that conversation is where it's trained from. I think if as a creator, a lot of creators give Creative Commons, a lot of creators give ability for public. And I think that there is, I will admit there's some gray areas here. Right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say there's not.
And I think that's also a thing is like people could be complex. And I think when they're like complexity is hard to like quantify online. And I think as we talk about some of these complexities, like Roberto and I understand that what we're using it for, like we're using it for the way where it empowers our creativity and isn't taking jobs because we're still hiring people. Roberto hired a book editor with 20 years experience. I'm hiring actual designers to take my ideas and make them better. Like we both understand our limitations.
AI also has limitations. AI cannot do digital print production and desktop publishing. It is not competent and capable to do that. It could make aspects of that job easier for someone who knows how to do it, but it cannot really replace them, not at the quality that people think. And even when it gets better 5 years from now, it still won't be able to handle a lot of those fine details. There's a lot of things that can still get wrong, and there's a lot of ways to interpret a command that may not be exactly what I want. It's really good for people who don't know what they want. It's not so good for people who know exactly what they want, if I'm being honest.
True. And I think that that's something that we need to talk about because like just because we are enjoying using something and like we understand there's a lot of value that could be from it doesn't mean we don't understand both sides. And we have to, the industry will move on and we need to have these conversations because if we don't, who will?
By the way, Andrew, AI can't replace somebody who isn't only a utility. You will replace somebody, anybody here, if they feel that someone is that was irreplaceable because of their ability, but they really didn't like how they behaved, they didn't like their character, they didn't like how they treated them, they don't like how they're being talked to, but that person feels indisposable because of a skill or a talent they provide. The thing is, I actually think AI will enhance our humanity and the way that we treat people and communicate, because if your skill and utility was the only hedge and it lets you act like a jerk to people because you were not disposable because of your technical ability, you're done now and you have to be a good person. Because now, yes, we're going to hire a human, but now your technical ability is not nearly as valuable or as impressive as it was. It means you now actually also have to bring the right character to the table.
And I just want to speak of bringing things to the table. You brought this amazing thing to the table. And It already rendered a bit before, but we were talking and I didn't want to interrupt the flow to
Sure.
show it. But here it is, you know, we it did, like I said, like anything, it's in beta. We discussed
We'll
that.
see. We'll see how it came out because again, I don't think it interpreted my directions as good the second time as the first, but we'll see.
We'll see. But, you know, that's where, as we said, there are limits. So it got the slam and it spins the pages open, but I don't know if it spins.
It
to
doesn't
open the
do so.
book.
It does an uncanny valley thing where it's like it does it from the wrong angle and direction, and so it does this uncanny valley thing that's completely unnatural. Like everything from second 2.5 forward is actually fine, but the first like yeah, everything from about 1 second onward is okay. Like where the book is already partially open, that's where you'd want to cut because before that is all uncanny valley.
Yeah, like this is confusing because a book doesn't do this.
Yes, exactly.
But
once it's already open, that's where we can do it. So we'd have to cut about 1.3 seconds of it.
yeah.
And then we'd be okay. So at about 1 second and a third, we'd be okay.
And if Roberto is working on, like, let's say Roberto has a book reveal, he could use this point as an example and say, check out my new book. And someone with, you know, if Roberto hired them, he could actually put the book itself as the book opening up. And like Roberto, I think that'd be a great way to like talk about it.
I
right?
agree.
And all of a sudden, Roberto has an idea he could send to someone, give him like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I don't like about this. And this got him working quicker, faster. And the person you hired who would be putting your book in, like that would be cool to see.
And it'd be great for them. Speaking as the creative, speaking as the artist, it'd be good for me to just not have to read your mind.
Yeah.
It'd be great for me to not have to read your mind and to have some visual representation of what you're communicating. That's where storyboards used to come from, Andrew, in the industry. You know this as a filmmaker, that the storyboard was something where there'd be rough sketches or comps or even stills to illustrate the scene setup and framing for how something is to be shot and filmed in the production. It's where the idea of concept art for both films, animation, and video games come from. But to wrap this back over to Opus, the thing about this is speed and scale. Do you know why I became one of the strongest advocates for YouTube Shorts? Because I sought out to actually solve a problem, just like how Agent Opus actually solves a problem of, oh, you don't have time, oh, you don't have money, oh, you don't necessarily have the technical ability. I looked at all the angles of like how that addresses like a real problem, which is what this product solves for. Opus Clip itself solves for multiple real problems, but so does YouTube Shorts, and short form content solves for a lot of problems. I've had people running the short split strategy, Andrew, have come to me and said, Roberto, I'm actually a better speaker and a better on-camera talent now because I had to put out 3 to 5 shorts a day. And since I had to put out 3 to 5 shorts a day, it taught me how to batch. It made me a faster editor because I was getting from start to finish because I'm only editing a 15, 30 or 1 minute clip. I actually took the editing more seriously in terms of completing it instead of just sitting there with it. I actually saw something finished. I felt more motivated. I feel more confident on camera now because I'm just doing it more. Was this what it was like for you when you were doing long form videos every day? And I said, yes, this is exactly what it solved for. It made me faster and efficient as an editor. It made me more confident on camera faster. It made me get through my editing mistakes and see those mistakes quicker, faster. It got me to a result every day where I was seeing a satisfied result and I had momentum and I never wanted to stop my momentum and the chain. And so it solved for that. Shorts don't make any money. It's like you're comparing short form views that you would get to long form video views you're not already getting. You're imagining, but if I got 10,000 on a long form, but you're not getting 10,000 on a long form. So what does it matter? And if you're getting 10,000 on these short form and you're making 5 or 8 of them, what does it matter? You're getting guaranteed views, pretty much guaranteed paid for something. You just wish you were getting that on long form, but what do you care? It's something you made. It's something people are watching. Why do you value long form more? I found out it's the emotional reason. You grew up watching long form YouTube videos. You want to be like the creators you watched. It's like, why not be you? Why do you have to be like them? Why not be you? This is working for you. Like you have something they don't. Like, why be a bargain basement of a rich creator when you can do your own thing that meets you where you are? YouTube Shorts is one of the best paths for working class content creators who work 40 hours a week, for people who have families, for people who are full-time students, because it is a simple thing where you can spend 5 to 15 minutes on one video that is less than a minute long in most cases, and you can do that multiple times, and you can have multiple videos out, be accomplished, have videos out in the wild, making money forever. Or you could sit there, you could agonize, work hard on a video that no one wants to click on because you made a great video with a crappy thumbnail because it's not your skill set, because how dare you not have the time to become a great graphic designer while you're working 50 hours a week.
And that's something that really does, I've seen it happen, right? It's always a thing of you have to balance it out. And I think that if you don't have that time, finding ways, like you said, to speed it up and get you to a better place. And you've always been a very big proponent of, test out, iterate, test things out. You might not be the best Instagram person, but you might be a great YouTube Shorts creator, and vice versa. Like, you could be doing not so well on YouTube Shorts, but you go to Instagram and all of a sudden you're doing that. And one of the ways you can do that is through Opus Clip. And so I want to show off, this is from a video I did, and I would use this maybe as an announcement to talk about, the affiliate programs I've done, right? So we have this YouTube short. I'm not talking about YouTube or AdSense. I just need to make a quick edit so that, we can get this just perfect. Ooh, that's my bad. This is human error more so than anything. But basically, all it's talking about is how they can, I made a list of over 100 affiliate programs they can apply to today to earn some money, right? And so here is where I'd probably, backspace out of that. Oh, I backspace out everything. This is where, again, don't take human error for product error. So this is that situation, though, of I have a video that I didn't initially plan to be, a standalone video, but it absolutely could be. So I'm just going to delete this little segment. And it's like, do you want to earn money on YouTube? I'm not talking about YouTube Partner Program or AdSense. I talk about affiliate programs, and I say there's a list that they can check out, right? But, this is not the most optimized for what I'm trying to do. So you can actually take what we uploaded, take what we did in Agent Opus. I can just drag this in now, and it's uploading that video we just made. We literally just made this earlier in the stream. Drag it in, and then where that moment, it didn't make sense to show it, this is now a very interesting graphic where maybe I just adjust the timing to cover up that part that wasn't designed to be standalone. Because this is where we have A roll and B roll, right? And so it looks like about here I have it come in. So what I can do is I could duplicate this or bring it in again, have it play, start here, have it play twice, and edit it to where it makes sense to no longer repeat. And all of a sudden, 100 affiliate programs that you can start applying to. And I think today is where I would, fade it out. But look at what we have. And, maybe this is where instead of fill like this, I'm editing this in real time. So Roberto and I have not talked through this. This is just like a real example. I would put this to fit, because we talk about, I'll have a link on screen today. You can get a list via the link on screen, and I'll have in the video description. All of a sudden, this has become an announcement video for something I built a while ago. This video is not that new, but it brings attention to something that I've built, that I've spent a lot of time on building. And all of a sudden, we go from something we created in Agent Opus, which was this. We have a video I've already made. And so what this does for me is gives a new spin on something people want and brings attention to something I spent time building, so that it doesn't just die in that one-off video. And that video still does well. It's, evergreen. It has good search, but this just brings more attention to it,
I would agree. Like, this just amplifies and enhances something very quickly, very easily, that otherwise might feel a little too static, and this increases retention instantly. And again, the vision for this, it works perfectly and seamlessly into your video. Yeah. I mean, it's uncanny, and this was not premeditated on our part. We literally workshopped this in real time. You guys saw me even literally tell them, hey, swap the YouTube logo for the YouTube Shorts logo, actually. So this wasn't premeditated. We didn't stage this. This is just right here what human collaboration can accomplish.
Yeah. And
with the enhancement of an AI tool. So we're collaborating with each other, and we're collaborating with the tool.
And, the cool thing is if I wanted to share this with Roberto, I could save the changes. I can export this and be like, hey, Roberto, what do you think of this as an idea? There's a lot we can do here. And I'm just going to like this because now what I can do, you could share this with your friends. I can work on this independently. But again, we made something brand new from existing content I've made. And I would feel confident to publish this. And I would probably, just say that I would mark it as with AI enhancements because that's what I'm supposed to do. But it's just up leveled something with a little more intentionality. I saw that you asked in the chat if we had some questions. So I think this is a really good time to remind folks that this is just a real workflow we did together. Roberto and I didn't plan to actually have something I'm going to post after this. And hey, maybe next time we go live, we can talk about how it did. But I think it's really exciting just to have something. So I see from Home Rapid Repair, does Opus Clip intend on being a full-length editor or more like pre-edit time saver? I mean, Opus Clip right now, I have seen people edit full videos within Opus Clip, not to be confused with Agent Opus. Because if you're looking for simple cutting, for time saving, like just finding your best takes, I've seen people actually edit full videos in it.
Did I tell you my future plans for my Shorts Blitz and how it's going to hit every lever of quality, value, effort, and consistency, and that the key to the workflow is actually Opus Clip? Did I tell you about that already?
You've told me a bit, but why don't you say it to the audience?
Okay. So, Andrew, as you know, I speak at 4 to 6 speaking engagements on stage every year. Podfest, for example, in January. VidCon, Vid Summit, VidFest, sometimes Social Media Marketing World, sometimes a one-off event either publicly or privately. So, I speak at like 4 to 6 events a year, and I might be on the stage at those events on either my keynote or a panel as much as 10 times a year. Now, I usually film those things. And in the past, with permission from the events, usually 6 months to a year later, I release the footage usually into the wild on YouTube. Oh, and it might get lifetime 3,000 to 10,000 views on my speaking engagements, lifetime, what have you. So I want you to now imagine a world where I take those stage talks, and everyone my stage talks, because the stage presentation, you literally kind of have to speak in sound bites. I want you to imagine how many clips from a stage talk at Vid Summit or VidCon do you think I can get out of Opus Clip?
I mean, honestly, probably hundreds
Per talk. Like, so possibly, let's be conservative. Let's say it's 50 per talk.
for sure.
Let's say it's 50 per talk. Okay. Now let's say I'm on stage 10 times a year. That's 500 short form clips for my YouTube shorts. Oh, but wait, there's more. I'm known to stand out in the hall and talk to people for an hour answering those questions.
It's true. I have to make sure he drinks water. That happened at Vid Summit. I'm not even kidding.
In 30 to 60 minutes, how many questions do you think I answer right there one-on-one in 30 to 60 minutes? Assuming I don't go for like 90 with people out there.
I mean, I've seen it in real time. I've seen you answer even easily 50.
So events like this are usually 2 to 3 days. So every time I'm at an event, I could be getting like 100, 150 questions. I do 4 to 6 events a year. So that's another 500, 600 clips. Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Oh, wait, there's more. Whenever I'm at these events, I can interview 1 or 2 of our friends. That's 8 to 12. That's 8 to 12 opportunities to do interviews. How many vertical clips can I get in a 60-minute interview?
Oh, easily. Like if we're going conservative, 30 to 50.
Oh, so let's see. So then there's another 500 clips for me. So is there a reason why I can't use high quality IRL content at events where I'm on stage, where I'm with other humans that now humanize me? So stage gives me authority. Stage gives me authority. Yeah, exactly, Shark Scrapper. I could have made a year's worth of clips from a day at Vid Summit. Absolutely. So, all right, I get the authority from being on stage. I get humanized and authenticity from being one-on-one with people. I get the added collaboration boost and outside interest from collaborating by doing interviews, which also then further humanize me. And then, Andrew, aren't there enough interesting things for vlog-like storytelling at the events, where as long as I do a hook at the beginning of, hey, I'm here at this event and everything like that, I'm a speaker and I'm doing the thing. And then I ran into this person, or I did this thing, and just doing storytelling like clips. If I did it intentionally, well, just for a few minutes every day that I'm at an event, and I'm at an event for 2 to 3 days, how many intentional storytelling shorts could I do at an event that are reasonable?
I think reasonable and high quality, any tens, to hundreds, depending how much time
So
you want to go.
let's say it's just 20 for the sake of argument. Let's just
Sure,
say it's
sure.
20. I'm at 4 to 6 events a year. So now this is another 100 shorts that personalize me. So between these four types of shorts that I can make across 4 to 6 events of the year and the amount of clips that they give me, do I need any other editing tool than Opus to make these high quality and viable? And do I need anything more than a maximum of 10 minutes tops, if I even spend any time at all per clip, to make them perfect for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X?
No, I think that's a perfect amount of time. And Opus Clip has their mobile app now, so you could even streamline that even faster.
So let me get this straight. So for 4 to 6 events that are a maximum of usually 3 days a piece, so for less than 20 days a year, I could put out 3 videos a day
Yep.
all year round and put out 1,000 videos, and I could publish it across 5 of my platforms. And I could do that the entire year off of 20 days of effort a year, with those 20 days literally constituting maybe less than 4 hours a day of work.
Yeah, easily.
And I don't need any other tool other than filming the high quality content with my cameras for the stage talks, and for the storytelling stuff with my phone, filming for my interviews, filming my after session Q&As, which, by the way, I could even do more of the Q&As, because I could just do morning, afternoon, evening for the Q&As per day and get massive amounts of footage. And it wouldn't be high lift for me either. Wouldn't even be high lift. So I could do all of that, and then I could just run it all at Opus, need nothing else. And would I or would I not have the highest quality YouTube shorts possible for an info style channel?
No, easily. And then, because I know you and I know how much you care, you could even add value to your members. I know a lot of your members, because Roberto has an amazing membership, awesomecreatoracademy.com. Go check it out. But in all seriousness, like I've met members of the ACA at events, at Vid Summit. I saw a few that were like, yeah, we're here. We loved seeing Roberto live. But you could even go deeper. Like, you could add value to your membership. You could record that and upload snippets that maybe they forgot, or members who couldn't attend the event need to know. And now Roberto not only has public content, he has content that he can share in his membership that is exclusive to members, that were based on conversations he already was going to have with his members at the event, but now just become a more value add. So not only do you have so much publicly, think of what you could do with your membership too.
And that's just the YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Because this isn't counting the clips that I get to use for long form clips. And by the way, with the YouTube shorts, Instagram Reels lets you link out. I can link back to Awesome Creator Academy and promote or grow my email list. YouTube Shorts doesn't, but X does, lets you link out. LinkedIn lets you link out. Facebook lets you link out. So 4 of my TikTok does not. YouTube and TikTok are the only ones that don't let me link back out, but Instagram Reels does. Threads does, which Opus currently doesn't have an easy direct publish to Threads, but should get one. Hint, hint. But Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, LinkedIn, and X. It's 4 platforms as far as the native schedule publishing that lets me drop a link to create a funnel back to my actual business on top of everything. So I win there. The other 2 don't, but that's fine because I have the reach and the awareness thing for that. And then here's the other part. Long form. Those long form videos, I can post them to X as far as the 2 or 3 minute clips and link out. I can post them to LinkedIn and linked out. I can post clips to my membership of the segments, just like Andrew said. I can post to Facebook. Yes, people still use Facebook. I can embed snippets of clips on my own website as something that's free traffic for an article and not the whole video, and I can use those clips and segments, and I can even say, well, hey, I'll even make just for people who only want to consume content and the slides and the PDFs. Oh, here's a recurring membership that's cheaper than joining the full academy. You don't get access to me and my team, but if you just want content, here's a premium membership that's not on YouTube, that's $9 a month or $99 for the year. Get everything ad free. Here's hundreds of video clips, easily to create, ad free, versus all these platforms. Oh yeah, you could watch them on these platforms. Oh, or you could watch them here ad free.
Yep.
And you can also get the PDFs slides as well. And you just pay the equivalent of a YouTube membership, except I don't have to split 30% with YouTube. Ha ha ha.
And you could even go a step further, right? One thing you could do is like, it tells you what's trending. So maybe Roberto is so busy at an event, he doesn't really, like, we've all been in an event. If you haven't, it's hard to know what's happening in the outside world. But if he knows that something's trending and Opus flags that to him, he might prioritize certain shorts while at the event so that he can easily incorporate it in his strategy. And maybe Roberto's super busy, but Roberto, I know you have a team, and you can invite team members so that they can help you out while you're out. Maybe while you're speaking, your team member's like, oh, this would make a great piece of short content. They can go ahead.
Andrew,
Yeah.
I could in real time finish an event, dump the footage to Opus, and my brother can log in and he could start clipping.
Yes, absolutely. I've done this at a live event where like we had people filming on phones or they had their own cameras. They were able to make stuff for us and then they quickly uploaded. I was able to give it a review for my own use. And then really quickly, it went from a moment on stage to a moment that was shared that was able to be valuable. Now, again, to your point, that event let me do that. Not every event may let you.
Correct.
Results may vary. Please always read your contracts. If you learn anything out of this, try Opus Clip, try Agent Opus, read contracts. Those are like three things I think Roberto and I can both agree with.
110%. But again, I'm showing you guys that's like people go, oh, YouTube shorts are slop and they're low effort too. Not if you do it right. And then, oh, I can't make a bunch of content. I can't film that much. It's like, what if you just create IRL, a real life event, an in real life event that itself is clip worthy? And now you have a tool that immediately does it. And now it's not some crazy editing fiasco because the event in real life was valuable enough by itself to where just clipping it would be enough. And then if you want to enhance it with Agent Opus, you can to make it slightly more dynamic by just even adding one graphical representation into it that could be meaningful. That's it. That is all you would have to do. And then no one can say it's lazy, even though it took you less time. So there's a difference between being lazy and being efficient. AI, when used properly, is efficient, not lazy, just like anything else. Photoshop, when used properly, is efficient, not lazy. YouTube Shorts, when done properly, offer value. They offer quality. They offer a level of consistency you may not be able to bring to long form. And they offer... And it can be high effort. Now, effort does not have to be in the edit. A lot of you keep thinking the effort needs to be in the edit. The effort, or the high effort part for me, is being able to be a public speaker. It's being able to do public speaking well, be invited to great events, great venues hosted by great people, and deliver a great presentation. The effort is front loaded. The effort is in the delivery of what the content itself represents. The edit is not meaningful in any particular way. So I don't need the effort to go into the editing. If you can put your editing front loaded into production, delivery, performance, humor, scripting, you don't need editing to do all this heavy lifting. So when you say, can Opus Clip be my editor and my tool? It can be, for many of you, the only tool you actually need from an editing standpoint if you are approaching your content from a production and storytelling standpoint to begin with. You're making something that's worthy of just being clipped.
Yeah. I think that goes really to show like intentionality, pre-planning. And that's why going to streams like this, like I think Shark Scraper said, didn't know Opus Clip had a mobile version, just loaded it. Man, so much value today. That's why you come. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break for the holiday season, but in January, we're going to hit the ground running again with more focus streams like this, with more things you can do to better your content. If you want to give Agent Opus a try, we highly recommend you check out that link in the description. If you want to get watermark free Agent Opus, right? Export without a watermark, you should scan that QR code that's been on screen to join the Discord server. They do a lot of challenges which give watermark free Agent Opus. And, you know, they're doing new things every Thursday after the holiday break as well. So you should absolutely come on in, check it out. We're doing a lot of cool stuff. And, you know, I love that what, you know, Beauty Bubble TV said. Roberto, creator math is why I am here. And Andrew is a full masterclass in ambassadorship. As an
Oh,
ambassador,
absolutely.
oh, well, thank you, Roberto. But you're great at creator math, and I'm great at, like, I know we both are experts in what we get to do. And thank you, Beauty
Yeah.
Bubble, for saying so. We appreciate it. But it is an example of how you can learn every week, and may I mention, for free. So it's that extra value that we always try to bring, and we're going to be bringing even more in the new year, because as these tools get better, we get better. And, you know, Roberto is going to have even more examples in his short split strategy. He's going to have more stuff, maybe even a new book from now and then, if I'm lucky, and hopefully that's going to happen. But
Oh,
I
it's still
want
happening. It's just delayed. YouTube made so many changes that I had to do a couple of whole chapter overhauls.
But hey, that means a couple of things for us.
Yeah.
Even better stuff. More
Oh, yeah.
experience. I could see Opus Clip and Agent Opus with motion graphics designer at CES for vendor interviews and product showcasing would be a great use case. Could supplement live streaming or automate edits.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But
Oh, yeah.
I also wanted to say, Roberto, if people are wanting to know how they can work or get to know you more over the holiday season, where could they find you?
They can find me in the social medias at Roberto Blake, everywhere in socials. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and pretty much everywhere. And at youtube.com at Roberto Blake if you want to watch the over 1,500 plus videos that I've put out over there. Also, we will be doing more live streams even with the holidays, and we will be going full steam ahead with more long form content in 2026. If you want to work with me, check me out over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. We also have a bunch of free stuff over there as well, including the free Creator Foundations course.
And as always, you can watch Roberto Blake on multiple channels, including Opus Clip here on Saturdays. We're so excited for what's to come, and we are wishing you all the best. Definitely check out Roberto Blake. I'm Andrew Can, as always. Thanks for watching the Opus Clip channel here today, and we hope you have and learned something new. Take care.